Hey guys, happy Thursday. It's a definitely a winter day, so we got some snow yesterday. I'd say probably about 3 inches. 3 inches of sticky snow, so kids were out building snowmen, playing in the snow, and of course plowing snow. So I plowed snow yesterday, got the driveway cleaned up, ran doctor's appointment with Chase. Candi went with me. Took us pretty much an hour to get there because we avoided the interstates and took I don't want to say back roads, but the main roads there, and took us every bit of an hour to get to the doctor's appointment. So that was fun. I don't mind driving in the snow. I tried to talk to Chase and Candi how I love to drive in the snow, because ever since I was a kid, you kind of learn on a four-wheeler and a three-wheeler and a car and doing donuts, all that stuff, how to handle a car in these types of conditions. It's not so much my skills, and I know things can happen, but it's the other driver. Oh my goodness, there were so many bad drivers out yesterday, like accelerating when you shouldn't be, or slamming on your brakes. Those are just things you don't do in the snow unless you have good control of your car. Plus there's a lot of little tiny cars out in the snow that probably shouldn't have been on the road at the time. Anyways, we made it, we got back, life is good. So today is just, I think they canceled school again today. Not that I keep up on that anymore, I don't have kids in school, but I just reading Facebook posts. I'm not sure quite why school was canceled, but it seems like a pretty just normal snowy day out there. Anyways, just wanted to kind of catch up with you, what's going on with Ken and here, and I guess we call it Ken's Corner. I don't know if I like that name yet. We got to come up with something different. Ken's Corner just sounds kind of corny. So yeah, we're gonna come up with something. Again, always looking for comments, insight on what you guys would like to hear from my brain of what's cooking up there and what kind of knowledge I can bring to the table and maybe help you out with something. So today we're going to cover a couple things. One, it is tax season, so if you haven't done your taxes, you better get moving on it. A couple friends were posting on Facebook. I live on Facebook, by the way. Looking for someone to do their taxes and etc. It's really not that hard. I know Candi does our taxes, but we use Tax Act. And as long as you follow the instructions on there, it's pretty easy. So you might want to consider that. I know everyone's afraid, oh, I don't want to make a mistake. I think the software is designed to allow minimal mistakes. So no one's going to come knocking on your door saying, you owe this money. My schedule for this week is somewhat of a sad one. My Aunt Clara passed away actually this week. She had a pulmonary embolism. If you don't know what that is, it's a blood clot that gets to your heart. And it's just not good. She had been fighting cancer for a little while and had some back surgery, and the cancer was getting better, and then this whole thing happened. The significance of my Aunt Clara, the woman was a saint, just one of those women who would do anything for anybody. She was always kind-hearted, never really had an attitude or sass or anything like that, because her husband, my Uncle Jim, he carried all that for her. So yeah, she will definitely be missed. Uncle Jim passed away in, I think it's September of 2021. But some of my fondest memories, honestly, you guys will get a kick out of this. Uncle Jim and Aunt Clara are the reasons that I am a Notre Dame fan, and obviously my kids are all Notre Dame fans because I was. But as a young kid, we would go to South Bend every year for Easter, and we would stay at the Morrison, and then we would go to church on Sunday and walk around the campus, all that good stuff every year when we were kids. So I remember that about them. Christmases, we always obviously we do our Christmas at our house, and then we would go over to their house in the evening and hang out. And I always remember there was so much good food that my Aunt Clara would make. She was a hell of a cook. Really good food. So that was really awesome. I remember watching the '84 Dolphins 49ers Super Bowl at their house. It was miserable for me because Dan Marino lost. I think my Uncle Jim was somewhat of a Dolphins fan back then. I don't think he stayed a Dolphins fan, but I remember him rooting for Miami and complaining during the game. So, but Aunt Clara, she worked for the Toledo Blade for many years, and then I think she had a job with one of the energy sources in town as well. So she had a really good working career. Lots of people loved her, but she had passed. So today we have visitation, and then tomorrow's the funeral. So I'll be picking up my dad this afternoon and meeting my brothers over there. So enough of the sad news, but that's what's going on there. I did want to bring up a little story about my dad. It's got my motor running. I mean, here's the thing is, I don't work for my dad, but I feel like I work for my dad, because it's like he's always calling me, KK, I need this, I need this. So it's like I'm almost like this unpaid employee that does work for him. You know, he gets a letter for this, I need you to respond, or I need billing for clients that I work for. So this recent, I'm not trying to throw dirt out on the market, but this is a recent instance where someone had brought it. He's an electrical mechanic. He's owned a shop for, God, he's probably going on 40 years now. Small area, community automotive shop. And my dad's, he's pretty good. He's done a good job with his business, and he's probably losing a little bit of a step. Anyways, the customer brought in a car. They repaired it. Of what they saw was wrong with it. Now, obviously, things can continue to go wrong with cars after they're repaired at a shop. It doesn't necessarily mean that the repair shop is responsible for the next problem that goes on with a car. So, anyways, fix some components. And here's another thing that I think happens, and I hear these stories all the time, that customers will bring their car in, wires are cut, they tried to work on it themselves and just made situations worse. And that happens probably with his I'll call it clientele or types of projects that he gets, because he's an electrician. Is everyone always tries to fix it themselves before they bring it to him, so then he's getting kind of their mess. So he repaired a lot of what the car was brought in for, actually all of it. He has a certain fee that he charges, and then if for bringing the car in. So it's just a look at it. It costs X amount of dollars, and then he'll typically call you up and say, all right, here's what we've found. Here's the cost to repair, and then they'll apply that assessment fee basically to the balance of what it would cost. Anyways, the car was repaired, sent. A day or two went by, and the car wouldn't start. So my dad gets a call, hey, car won't start, what are you going to do about it? All of a sudden, people get really, and we're living in that stage right now of, God, and it's not even, customer service I think is fine, it's just everybody's so edgy and entitled and want to fight, and it's I don't know, that's going to be a whole nother video of people and their temperaments. Maybe that's my next video, is people's temperaments and how things are handled, and response time and speed and customer service and all that. Anyways, back to my story. So my dad was nice enough, and he's never sent a mechanic to someone's house to try to get their car started in the 30+ years. So he sends one of his mechanics over. They're trying to troubleshoot it, the whole 9 yards, and there's more problems with the vehicle. So this customer kind of starts getting irate, like it's my dad's fault, which it wasn't. More problems occurring with the car, and my dad basically said, based on your hardship and financial situation, this is what it would cost, and they're like, we're just not interested. So my dad was nice enough to even refer them to a dealership, a salesman we know, friend of mine, to maybe help out getting a new car. So above and beyond, one, sent a mechanic to the job site. Two, tried to give a referral to get a car, the whole 9 yards. We don't know what happened after that point, until my dad gets a letter from the Better Business Bureau, basically saying how he took advantage of this person, etc., etc. So I sat down with him, we took some notes, I wrote a rebuttal letter, just basically saying we followed protocol, we did what we said we were going to do, etc. So now he has this new letter. The new letter comes, and he read it to me twice yesterday, that the mechanic he sent over was sexually harassing this individual, and all these lies. It's like, now you've lost your credibility, because if this individual was harassing you, you would have put it in your original complaint, rather than my car didn't get fixed. So now it's like all these false accusations, and my dad's all upset about it. I'm like, Dad, just don't worry about it. I mean, we followed up with our rebuttal. We did what we were supposed to. I mean, this person could go on and on writing letters forever. And so I just sat and thought to myself, well, should I respond again? And I'm like, I don't know, just unfortunate. Babble, 10 minutes. That's what I dealt with yesterday. So a little frustrating. Anyways, I did want to get into a little bit about kids. They're not kids now, they're adults. And Candi and I used to have this this thing when I was probably around the age of, well, obviously, you know, 5 and 6 or 7. That was always fun. You guys have seen the old Our Family Nest videos. But around 9 and 10, Chase and Karli were really pains in our rear ends, and we always just kept saying to ourselves, man, I can't wait till these guys become adults and they're not fighting and bickering and, you know, all that good stuff. So here we are today. We have the adults that we wished for, and I would rather them be 9 and 10 again. And the real reason is it's just, you know, things get harder. I mean, you're not dealing with kid problems of riding a bike and, you know, they're gonna fall off and skin their knee, or you know, are they going to a friend's house that their parents are trustworthy and aren't doing some weird stuff, or you know, you know, they're riding a bike to a friend's that they get there. I mean, I know all that stuff's scary, don't get me wrong, but the stuff now is they're adult problems. And the thing is back then, I don't want to say there's a playbook, but there kind of is a playbook. I mean, the parenting model of a youngster is pretty common sense, but the adult playbook, there's not one that's written. There's one pain in the rear end is the fact that once your kid turns 18, they're adults, and if there's anything medically going on, even though I'm paying the health insurance bill, we're taking them to the doctor's appointments, etc., the physicians or mid-levels, etc., they don't give you any information as adults. They kind of leave you out of the picture. So we've had a couple instances of dealing with that issue where, you know, and sometimes I know you're 18, but that doesn't. I know by standard you're an adult. But I'm telling you what, 18 does not mean you're an adult. I mean, there's a reason why drinking ages are 21. I mean, kids are, not all kids, I'm not categorizing not all kids, but I think kids are more fragile today due to the whole going through COVID. And I mean, it's like we've lost this step in the process of growing up somewhere in there. It became a little more difficult. And again, that could be another whole topic of discussion of, you know, going through COVID and what has changed and how people have changed. But you know, just I think 18's maybe not. I mean, by a number, it's an adult. You know, you can sign up for the military. There's a lot of things you can do at 18. But I think mentally, having parental assistance and asking good questions, understanding what's going to happen, you know, all that good stuff. I mean, you're sending your kid into a doctor and they're on their own to make their decisions, and they may not even know what to, you know, to expect. So yeah, it's become increasingly harder. You know, breakups. You know, Andrew and Blake's gone through two breakups. Andrew's broke up. You know, Chase now, and it's breakups are tough, especially when you invest your time into a breakup and that person becomes a part of you. And at a young adolescent age, you don't really know how to cope with that separation from individuals. So it becomes difficult. So, you know, breakups are hard. I mean, if I put myself back in you know, young Ken, I had a high school sweetheart from 15 to 19. And I will give my kids credit. They've all handled their breakups way better than I did. I was not a good breakup. I mean, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I took things really, really, really hard. But 15 to 19, I mean, that person was my entire life during that time period. And, you know, you split up, you take it hard. It's difficult, and you just don't always deal with things, you know, the best way. And since then, you know, I had 2 other relationships, both about a year. One's nickname was Sybil. If you don't know who Sybil is, look it up. You'll be interesting. That wasn't a name I gave this individual. It was a name her mother gave her. But if you look it up, you'll understand what kind of individual I was dating. And she was a lot of fun. We did a lot of fun stuff, but stability back then. And she may be a completely different person now. I mean, we're talking 20 to 21, maybe 21, somewhere in there. That was a year relationship. It didn't end well. I won't get into the details, but it led into my brother and mother picking me up, you know, not in jail, no, at her house, and that was kind of the end of that one. Then the following one was someone I worked with, went on a vacation, disappeared, and ended up she had been cheating. So that one was that was tough, because the gap between the breakup and finding out it was cheating was the what did I do wrong kind of thing. And I think that's what you do in breakups, is you always try to you blame yourself. What did I do wrong? Where did I mess up? All those good things. Come to find out, like I said, the cheating thing made it easier for me because it was like, all right, there was an end. It wasn't, well, maybe it was something I did, I don't know, but there was an end to it. And then obviously the fourth, I'm married to her right now. So, and little dating things in between, but I think the hardest part of breakups is trying to figure out what happened, why, is it my fault? But in the same token, I think it's such a valuable learning experience of building you as your character. I mean, I learned from all of those relationships. I became who I am today. You learn to work with your emotions and how to deal with it. And, you try to tell your kids that. Well, and Candi and I got in a big discussion about this as well as, well, I've been through this before. And she doesn't think she thinks that's hurtful to the person that you're talking to, that, we've all been through this. Well, I don't think so. I mean, we have been through it. We're trying to relate, saying, we've done this. We know how, we don't know exactly how you feel, but we kind of know how you feel going through breakups. And, you just kind of coach and guide. And I think this has been a really, good week for Chase. So, some good breakthroughs, and we're just, working through it. I mean, he's been dating the same individual for many, 8th grade to now. I mean, what is that, 7 years? That's a long time, especially all through adolescence. So, but I think he's on a good page, and we're gonna probably deal with more. But who knows if Karli and her boyfriend stay together, or Blake and his new girlfriend, or all of these things are become adult problems, and there's no playbook, there's no guide to say this is how you should feel or what have you. The most important thing is to let your children know is that there's a support system for them. And my routine, continual saying to all of them, and the same with Blake went through some tough breakups, is no one loves you more than we do. No one's going to advise, and our advice is always perfect, but we're going to give you the best advice that we know. I know you tend to take advice from your friends, even through my breakups, and your friends are like, you're better than that, you need someone better, and you sit and listen to all that. And on top of it, Candi and I broke up, I think two times, maybe 3 times, I don't even know, before we actually got engaged. We went through our rough times, and her idea of breakups is a little different than mine. I think hers is, she went through a divorce due to cheating with Andrew's dad, and being cheated on is definitely a different feeling than the other. So always dealing with emotions and feelings and fears and all that good stuff, there's just no playbook. So as we continue down the road, hopefully obviously things will continue to get better. And like I said, I think we've had a really good week with Chase, and obviously moving on to the next part of our lives. So let's get into and I could probably go on that topic for hours and hours and hours, by the way. So let's talk NFL quickly here before we wrap up. I did go 4 for 4 this past weekend. I picked all the winners, and that means absolutely nothing. Good football games, though. Probably not too terribly difficult to pick. I know a lot of people were thinking the Cowboys had a shot. The Cowboys are the Cowboys, guys. And then old Burrow, Joe Burrow, Mr. Sass. He's kind of like Joe Namath. Joe Burrow, he's got some charisma, and he's got a little bit of attitude, and I like it. So I'm gonna take the Bengals again this week, and as of right now, they are the defending Super Bowl runner-up. So it's theirs to keep, and it's Pat Mahomes' job to come and take it. Now, the spread originally was 2.5. The Bengals were favored because Pat Mahomes had a high ankle sprain, and supposedly he's been at practice all week and looks pretty good. So they're saying he's 100%. Maybe not. Maybe that's just the media. So the spread flipped to Cincinnati is now +1. Doesn't matter. I'm going to take the Bengals. I'm going to take the Bengals straight up, and I'm going to take the Bengals +1. It is an Arrowhead, so that's my pick. And then we take the 49ers and the Eagles. That's a tough one because everybody's on the Purdy train. He's the Mr. Irrelevant. Brock Purdy was picked last in the draft. They call him Mr. Irrelevant, and he is now the starter for the San Francisco 49ers, and he's undefeated right now. He's got some sass to him too. I think the Niners are loaded on defense. I think you got a good running game. You got McCaffrey. But the Eagles been hot all year. I mean, Jalen Hurts has been hot. Their offense is high flying. Their defense is tough. I mean, this could be a really tough game coming down to the wire. But I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to take the Eagles. My heart wants me to say 49ers, but I don't know if your heart and gut are the same thing. My heart says pick the 49ers. My gut saying go with the Eagles at home. 2.5. I'm not even going to touch the spread. I'm not going to pick this game at all. I'm just going to take the Eagles straight up to win this game, and we're going to have a Cincinnati Bengals Eagles Super Bowl. Will be the first time these two have played in the Super Bowl. I think the last time Cincinnati, other than last year, Cincinnati Super Bowl against the 49ers was in '86. Maybe Collinsworth played. I don't know, Ickey Woods, Boomer Esiason maybe. I don't know, but I think that was in '86. And the Bengals won that game. Anyways, we're gonna go Eagles, Bengals this week. Should be. We're coming down to the wire. Super Bowl's coming up. I think they're doing flag football for the Pro Bowl next week, and then the Super Bowl the following week, which will be fun. So, and then you won't have to listen to me talk about NFL football anymore. Maybe we'll roll into March Madness. No, I like watching college basketball when March Madness is here, but right now it's just. I'm going to go into hibernation and depression mode with no football to watch. So, hope you enjoyed today. Hot topics with Ken's Corner. Anyways, leave some comments below on topics that you would like to be discussed, or just overall feedback on how you thought today's video went. Enjoy yourself, stay safe, and we'll catch you in a week, guys. I appreciate you.